I'm sure all of you are aware of the current situation the world is in with this constant state of lockdown, which has been in place for the past few months. As you can see from this graph, it looks like Belarus is the only country in Europe without any lockdown restrictions in place. And this is pretty much the same across the whole of the world. So I thought I'd make a video explaining how my life, but mainly training, has changed as a result of lockdown and only being allowed out once per day. So before lockdown, I was living in my house in Leicester, and I was essentially training in my spare time, which happened to be after work in the evenings as well as weekends. I also had somewhat of a social life, so other weekends I'd sometimes go away and I wouldn't get a chance to do as much training as I perhaps would like to. However, the main benefit of training before lockdown started was that the gyms were open, so I was able to do a lot more weight training, but primarily swimming, which I haven't done any of since lockdown started in the UK, which I'll go over later on. Since the beginning of the lockdown in the UK, I've been staying and working out of my parents' house, and this has meant that my commute has gone from 2 hours per day to nothing. And as a result of this extra time, sometimes I'll train twice in one day. So in my lunch break, I'll go for a run, and then in the evening, I'll ride. My weekly running distance has shot up to about 30k, whereas before it was around the 20k mark. And cycling has gone to about 150 kilometers per week. And like I said earlier, I haven't been doing any swimming since the beginning of the lockdown because all the pools and all the gyms are shut. So to compensate for that, I've been focusing more on bodyweight exercises such as pull-ups, press-ups, as well as stretching and yoga to help with my recovery. I also bought this Elite Directo Smart Turbo Trainer. I'll put a link in the description, as well as a Zwift subscription, which enables me to cycle without leaving the house. Or if the weather's bad, I can also just hop on this. It's a lot easier than going for a bike ride and getting wet. So to sum everything up, I'd definitely say there's pros and cons of training in lockdown compared to beforehand. I'm definitely doing a lot more cycling and running. I'd say volume in general. I'm training more. The more amount of time is going into training. But obviously I'm not doing as much swimming, which could potentially hinder me in the future. And I was getting quite stressed out about it at the beginning of lockdown, wondering how I'm going to be able to swim, or at least do any sort of training towards a swim. But I've just found that doing bodyweight exercise is all I can do. So there's no point to stress and just focus on running and cycling. And then as soon as lockdown gets lifted, I'll go back into the pool and take it from there, really. So thank you so much for watching the video, especially if you made it this far. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. So if you wouldn't mind just smashing the like button if you haven't already, subscribe if you also haven't already, and tell everyone about it. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.